Who were some of your early role models growing up, and how do they influence you, do you feel?
How early are we talking?
Or any kind of role models you're thinking.
I think from a life perspective, my mom and my dad for sure. They're very honorable, hardworking people, and so in that sense, I think I have my like honor, hard work, loyalty, ethics. I think those I got from my parents, and they kind of provide the foundation to own like a compassion and empathetic business, which I think is important also. A lot of times that's ignored or understated because most people think you have to be ruthless to win.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, I think you have to employ kindness to win. I think you can win in multiple ways, but I prefer this. And then from like a business perspective, probably the guy right behind my face, Steve, was probably like, yeah, he was just I was just a huge Apple fan, I think, in the early days. Just the way they made their products feel very magical. And I think obviously I'm 42 now, so I've probably been a fan for 20 years, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was obviously a lot more easily influenced at a younger age.
That's a good influence, like out of all people to be influenced by. It's good that it was a business.
Yeah, and the way he made you feel that there's a huge emotional connection to either a product or service that they were doing, I think cannot be stressed more. I think there's a few ways you can go about building your brand and gaining traction and earning revenue, but this is the most long-lasting way.
Got it. And can you take us back to the beginning or the growth of Chronik Inc? So what really inspired you to enter the world of tattoo artistry and eventually co-found Chronik Inc?
It's funny, actually, because it was the front page of a Yahoo ad. So I don't know, Yahoo, like most of your viewers are not going to know Yahoo.
Yeah, Yahoo. Back in the day.
Yeah, but it was like a Caucasian girl. She had like a half sleeve colored tattoo. She looked like your girl next door. She had sleeveless shirt, scarf around her neck, looking very much like the girl next door, very comfortable looking. But back then, we're talking 2007, I think, and you don't see a lot of tattooed or modified people on advertisements, let alone like major publications or platforms.
And there was still a bit of a stigma around the whole
100%.
thing. Yeah.
And I always knew that the U.S. kind of, in terms of trends, sort of like led Canada by a few years.
Yeah.
And so I saw that, and I'm like, wow, tattoos are going to be huge.
Because they were big in the States first?
Well, I've never seen it on the front page of Yahoo. Like, that's as big, like, the front page of Yahoo was like the place.
Yes.
That's where you got like weather, that's where you got financial news, that's where you got like, you know, just news in general. There was just like a lot going on the front page of Yahoo in 2007. You know, Google wasn't like the dominant force that they were in 2007.
No, they were still competing.
Exactly.
Ask.com was still a thing, if you remember.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I saw that, I'm like, wow, tattoos are going to be huge because they just put this girl on the front page and she has a tattoo, and I've never seen that. You know, so you definitely didn't see any ads in Canada with tattooed people on it.
But what made you like link that to like starting a tattoo business specifically? Because a million different people could have saw that, like, okay, cool. But so how did this like spark the idea in your brain?
I think entrepreneurs are natural opportunists. So obviously, if the opportunity aligns with your passion, it becomes more powerful. And I think that's always the best practice. You hear every entrepreneur give advice. It's like, you know, chase what you're passionate about, do what you're passionate about. But, you know, I don't know how many businesses there are in this world. Let's call that X. I would say less than 20% of that X are people doing what they're passionate about.
Yes.
Even as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I don't think that percentage of passion linking to your job changes whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you are working for someone else.
Yes.
And so for me, I wasn't supremely passionate about tattoos, but I made the connection very quickly that this is like an underserved, under-disrupted industry that's about to blow up. And so, and also in your 20s, I think back in that day, like back in 2007, obviously now people are much more aware that you should be chasing your dreams as opposed to like money, and the money will follow. I feel like that's the kind of trend right now. But back then, an entrepreneur was just like how can I build like a good business?